Hello, I'm Jeff Jones. I'm a pastor in Plano, Texas at Chase Oaks Church. And as I look back over ministry, what I would say, if I could talk to myself back in those early years, I would say, Jeff, you really don't have to do it all, and you don't have to do it all now. Because for a missional, activistic leader, that just sounds crazy. It sounds like somebody's stifling, what God might do by saying you don't have to do it all and you don't have to do it all now. But what I see now looking back is I would have actually accomplished more, gone farther, and done it better had I been more selective, done fewer things that were more unique to my true calling so that others could be released to do what they do. And I wouldn't have missed out on a lot that I missed out on. In those early years, it was exciting because we were, a lot of things were happening in the church, and we were growing, and we were starting new initiatives, and we also started an organization that existed to help other churches be effective in developing leaders around the world, a parachurch organization. And so I was involved in all these new initiatives in the church and calling people to a lot of change in the church, and at the same time running around the country and going around the world with this church-based training organization. And it was all good, but it came at a real price. And for that time period, I have two boys, and my boys at the time were 1 and 3. And it was for a couple of years as they grew, a couple of years older than that. And I'd be gone often, 12 nights in a row out. Of course, I was busy in the daytime too. And then, I'd be gone, maybe home for a night, and then gone 8 nights, and then home, and then maybe traveling, gone 20 nights, and back and gone 16 nights. And I remember one time I'd been doing that for a couple years on that pace, and a lot of great things were happening, and a lot of pats on the back, written a book, and all this stuff going on. And I think I was in Germany or somewhere working with a bunch of missionaries with Greater European Mission, and it was on a high, it had gone really well, and I came in the door from the airport, and my wife looked at me and said, "I'm not doing this anymore." And I didn't know what she meant. I didn't know what by this. Are you talking about, what do you mean? Are you talking about ministry? Are you talking about marriage? Are you talking about, what do you mean? And she just talked to me very openly and honestly and just said, I realize now that I've been enabling you in a really unhealthy way. And the truth is you're missing the life of our children, and you'll never get it back. And she was right. And for the first couple years of my youngest one's life, I wasn't around very much. And I wish I could get that back, but I can't. And I made changes after. She forced me to, and I'm so glad she did, because she meant it. She wasn't going to enable me to do that anymore. And I began to talk to some people who know me well, talk to our board, talk to various people who helped me begin to recalibrate what I really need to be doing and how much I need to be doing now. And what I realize now looking back is I would have been so much more effective to have just chosen, the 2 or 3 things that God had really called me to do that only I could do for the organization, that the organization needed me most to do, and release others to do everything else. And if I could, and how much wiser it would have been and better if we had prioritized, instead of trying to do everything we were thinking needed to be done, if we had prioritized the top 2 or 3, because we also burned through a lot of staff in that time period, and I can look back and really regret that too. So what I would say, if I could talk to me, do time travel and sit across the table and say, Jeff, you may want to think about this, doing it differently, is you don't have to do it all, and you don't have to do it all now. Just ask yourself the question, in the timing of our church, in the phase our church is in the phase our organization is in, what does our organization need most? And it's probably not 10 things. It's probably not 20 things. It's probably 1 or 2 that really rise to the top. And let's focus on those. And then, Jeff, what in that, what does the organization need you to provide that only you can provide because of your role, because of your gifting? And then delegate everything else to people who are much better at it anyway. And that would have made a big difference.